Hi, welcome to Plaid Lattes. I'm AJ. In today's video, we will be doing a Christmas in July. Today we will be doing a couple of recipes. I don't know why that keeps adjusting. It should be fine. We're using a different camera today, so hopefully it'll stay in focus. We're doing 3 different recipes. We're doing turducken meatballs, a gingerbread cold brew, and a cranberry whip for dessert. If that's something you want to see, then stick around. Please do not adjust your screen. So, turducken meatballs, it sounds like what it is. When you get a turducken, it usually has stuffing and then sausage stuffing. We don't do gluten, so it's kind of hard to go and get a turducken unless you get it specially made, which is even more than a regular turducken. So I started doing these a few years ago, but we are doing an addition I've never done before just to make it a little better. So, duck breast, ground turkey. Couldn't really find ground chicken that looked good, so I just took out some frozen chicken breast and a thigh. And then sausage. I'm using the Spalumbo's Mild Italian, and just take it out of the casing. And so I'm going to put all these into my food processor and mix them all up. Yeah. So I did put in the Lifehouse Poultry Fresh Frozen blend.
Lighthouse, yeah.
Yeah, Lighthouse. And an egg. And blended up my chicken breast and thigh and my duck breast. I left the skin on. You can take the skin off and fry it and make chicken or duck crackle, which would be kind of phenomenal, but I like the added that it gives. And there's an egg. Yeah, an egg. So I'm just mixing that in with the already minced ingredients.
And that little bit of fat from the duck breast keeps it from getting dry, because I mean you got lean chicken, lean turkey.
And that's why we decided to add sausage this year as well. Just to add a little more moisture, I guess would be the...
Moist.
I know no one likes that word, but to take away from the dryness of the chicken and the turkey. There you go. How about that? So mixing that all up. I'm not wearing gloves because this is for us. We're eating this. This is going to make, as you can see, a giant batch. And there's several things you can do with it. If you want to make it, like we'll make it and bake them all off in our lovely air fryer, which I'll get to in a second. You can freeze it, or you can use it, right away. We're going to be making turducken meatball sandwiches, which I will show you in a few minutes. But you can also put it with mashed potatoes, like you can do like a traditional kind of
dinner.
Yeah, dinner. Or if you like the kale cranberry salad, heat them up and then just toss them on there, and it's like, Thanksgiving salad.
If you're doing mashed potatoes, we've done gravy with cranberry sauce in it.
Yep.
And as your gravy, and it's amazing. You can make burgers out of that too.
Yeah, which is where I actually got the idea from, was watching Supernatural, and they had the turducken slam burger. I was like, dude, I can make that.
And she did.
Exactly, and have ever since. So I have washed my hands, obviously. I put parchment paper down just because the racks for the air fryer have the holes in it. So then it just means a little less cleanup afterwards. So I'm just gonna portion these out onto here. We have the Instant Pot air fryer that has air fryer, bake, convection, all that jazz. It comes with 2 separate sheets. I wouldn't recommend doing them at the same time. So yes, you're gonna have to do 2 batches, but they cook in 1/3 of the time, and they're not gonna heat up your house because this is Christmas in July.
Not Christmas in December.
Yeah, Christmas in December you heat up the house. It's like, oh, nice and cozy. Christmas in July you heat up the house. It's not a good thing. So we're trying to just, keep it cool in here. And as a bonus, it does actually use a lot less energy, which is nice. So just scoop them all up. And because they're chicken, they will shrink a little bit, so you can put them closer together. And just keep going along. Alright, so all of our meatballs are done. They're just kind of chilling out for a minute. We are going to make a very vintage recipe that I'm making less vintage. So it's cranberry whip using cranberry sauce, and they have you using regular whipped cream and sugar. I'm using Cool Whip. So it's super quick and perfect for actual Christmas or Christmas in July, because you can make it and pop it in the fridge. And there's only 2 of us, so we only need a little bit. Put that there, that there too. Alright, so give this a stir. Cranberry jelly is always so interesting.
So you're just using half the can because the other half you're going to use for our sauce for our sandwiches. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, so as Mom said, I'm only using some of the can because the rest will actually go for our sandwiches. Alright. And I'm not using the whole tub of Cool Whip because there is another short. There is a short that will be up on what to do with whipped cream for a perfect quick dessert. A little more. And then that should be enough room for what I need in it for it. Close that up. And then simply mix it together. It's literally that easy. And then we always have mason jars for cups or for eating out of.
Or for making breakfast in, or for making...
Yeah. For all things. Our nighttime sleepy tea.
Hey AJ, I think it's really cool that you're using a spatula instead of a spoon.
That's because you can actually mix things in better with a spatula. And you're folding it in instead of mixing it, so you're not losing all of the volume of the Cool Whip. And then I am going to use a spoon to help get this in here, because otherwise I just see me getting it all over. I do actually wear glasses, so trying to get things into stuff like this when I'm not wearing my glasses is very interesting. But you don't have to add any extra sugar. If you want to use light Cool Whip, you can.
But who would? Because that's disgusting.
But super simple. Literally, you're putting 2 things that you're going to have on hand during any kind of... Oh, I just dropped some, but whatever. Any kind of festivity. And then you do this really great thing. You pick up the bowl. And you get all of it.
It's like magic.
I know. It's crazy, this. It's something they apparently do not teach in high-end chef schools.
Yeah. How to scrape a bowl with a spatula.
Yep. And then, there you go. You can top them with a little extra something. You could actually put like a little dark chocolate on top. Would be really nice. Pop them in the fridge and they're ready to go anytime. Quick and easy cranberry whip. Wipe that up. Give it a taste.
Awesome.
It's so good. Because the tartness from the cranberry
Totally
with the Cool Whip
eliminates the gagginess of the Cool Whip.
Exactly. Booyah!
Great.
Quick and easy, pop these in the fridge. Okay, so I will insert the video of when I started the gingerbread cold brew. I didn't film when I strained it, but you get the basic gist. You take a strainer and a coffee filter and strain it as best as you can. So we are making gingerbread cold brew, because what's more Christmas in July than gingerbread cold brew? You want to pick just a basic coffee with no extra flavors. This is just a Hawaiian blend with nothing, no specific additives or anything. If you'd ever made it in a certain container of measure, I've made cold brew in this container umpteen times, so I know my measurements. And then, once you have your coffee in, and I would guesstimate on this. If you did anything specific, you might end up with too much gingerbread flavor, which is gross. So, a little bit of ginger, cinnamon. If it comes out of the bottle. nutmeg. And a little bit of clove. Do not overdo your clove or it will taste like soap. That should be good. And then I'm going to add water. Once you've added your water to pretty much the top, I like using the mason jar because it's about a third cup of coffee and then your water. You can put a lid on it and put it in the fridge for 14 to 18 hours. So I have my gingerbread flavored cold brew and brown sugar simple syrup to give it that molassesy flavor without actually adding molasses. Open it without spilling everywhere, obviously. And then a simple tablespoon in each. Drip some on the counter. All the fancy people always then put their ice cubes in, which I guess I kind of get, then you don't splash
everywhere.
Yeah. I also whipped together some half and half and cream cheese because gingerbread goes really well with cream cheese, and I keep seeing cream cheese topped coffee everywhere, so figured I'd give it a try. It takes a little while to mix it together, but it looks like it'll be nice and creamy and fluffy and all the other fun stuff. And by the way, I got this mold from the dollar store, and you get the nice big round ice cube molds, and they even have little snowflakes on top. So can't go wrong there. And then pour your cold brew. Is that even?
Ish.
Ish. Mostly. It's mostly even.
It's even-ish.
Mostly dead.
It's only mostly dead.
And then your nice frothy cream cheese, a little bit of powdered sugar, topping. Yeah. And I'm just dripping everywhere. And do you want to chop this up? I think that's probably good.
Well,
Yeah.
it's up to you.
Do you want to chop it up with coffee or with
Maybe a little coffee.
a little coffee? Okay.
Because you never go wrong with a little more coffee. Great.
And then overfill it a little bit. And it makes it all nice and pretty. Like, that's some beauty right there.
Like a snowstorm in July.
That's it. Stop. That's the reality that no one really talks about, is when you're making one of anything, you have to either stop or just roll right through. Give it a nice mix up. Nice taste. That's good.
Awesome.
I wish I'd mixed
It's a
some
keeper.
cream cheese a little bit more, but still really good and tasty.
Awesome.
And now on to our sandwich. Alrighty, so I'm making our sandwiches. I have two different types of bread here. Mom doesn't eat gluten. It helps keep her numbers down for which arthritis?
Rheumatoid.
For the rheumatoid arthritis. It actually helps keep the numbers down. So she eats gluten-free. I do not, all the time. But any base things I make are gluten-free. So I have the Promise sourdough loaf. I've mentioned it before. It's our favorite gluten-free bread. And then I just have a simple brioche bun for myself. So for your topping, you're going to take your mayo and mix a healthy dose of cranberry sauce in it. I don't like putting just cranberry sauce on. The mayo adds that creaminess that you need and makes it all lubberly. Mix it in really well. You're gonna just... And whenever I'm making stuff for both of us, I always start with hers, just to avoid cross-contamination. So you have your lovely spread. A little bit lighter on the other side, but I still want to put it on just so the bread doesn't end up tasting dry.
Because gluten-free bread can
Dry out
often do that.
Yeah.
Promise doesn't usually. It's usually pretty good, so.
And And it's really nice that oftentimes you get it frozen or you can just pop it in the freezer, and it's great if you don't eat a lot of bread.
Which we don't.
There. And as you can tell, so that made about 60 meatballs. And I have a lovely giant bowl of them. You know, for aesthetic purposes, why not? And then I'm gonna put brie, or no, I'll put my little turducken meatballs on. Shove those over so I can get 4 on there. And then you're gonna put nice pieces of brie on top. And then I'm gonna pop these in to broil, and they are good to go. That is a quick and simple any time of year, but definitely
Christmas
this
in
in
July.
I was gonna say summer in July, and I'm like, that's not right. Christmas in July, great sandwich. You have lots left over that you can do other things with, and you have your nice little iced coffee. So till next time, have a good one. We'll see ya. So this is what these sandwiches look like after they've been in the broiler. Cheese is nice and melty. Gonna close those up and serve them. And as a little thing, if you do, or not the broiler, under the broiler in the Instant Pot air fryer, because it has that. And when you use that, because of how the pans are with the little slots, I do find using a wood, what's it called? Trivet. A wood trivet far better because it's easier to clean should anything, leak on it or just get icky. And which leads into our next video, which will be painting Christmas themed wood trivets. If that's something you want to see, then please feel free to stick around.